We're going to be taking a look at the while loop, which is going to repeat itself until a certain condition is no longer met. Now, we saw the if statement and the if else statement in the last few videos of the series, and those would go and execute the code inside of the body one time as long as the condition was true. Now, what if you wanted to go ahead and keep executing that code inside of the body as long as that condition was still remaining true? And that's what we get with the while loop. It's going to keep repeating itself and keep running through all the code inside the body as long as whatever you have inside those brackets is still true by the time you're finished. So we obviously need to start off with a variable. This variable is going to keep track of how many times we pass through the loop. So I'm going to just call this variable loop, and we have not passed through the loop at all yet because we haven't even made the loop. So we're going to go ahead and call this 0. We're going to assign it a value of 0. So this integer variable loop is going to be the amount of times we pass through the loop, and that right now is 0. We haven't passed through at all. Now we're going to go ahead and create our while loop, and you probably guessed a while loop's keyword is going to be while. So you can go ahead and write while, and you're going to have your condition inside the brackets. We can go ahead and put whatever we want. I can say loop less than 5, right? So as long as loop is less than 5, we're going to keep running through the loop, right? You might have a problem here and you might say, well, look, the loop is always going to be less than 5, right? I mean, 0 is always going to be less than 5. So is this going to keep running nonstop? I'm going to show you exactly what's going to happen in a moment. So first, we're going to go ahead and open up the body for our while loop. I think I have one too many curly braces over here. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have our curly braces here for the while loop, and I'm going to go ahead and write whatever I want inside of it. So I'm going to go ahead and write system out print line. I'm going to make a output to the screen. I'm going to say you have passed through the loop. There you go. Remember, you saw we had to make the plus loop plus times. So this is going to allow us to say you have passed through the loop how many times we pass through the loop, right? You remember we put the plus signs if we want to start putting variables, for example, we want to have multiple things being printed out. You have passed through the loop plus time. So this is obviously going to be the number that we passed through the loop. So we're going to have all that set up, and we're going to take a little bit of space, remove some space here. Now, if I were to go ahead and run this, we're going to run into a problem, right? Because we know that loop is always going to be equal to 0. So this is always going to say you pass through the loop 0 times, and it's just going to keep repeating itself over and over and over. Our computer is going to go crazy. It's going to melt down, and then I'm not going to cover the costs of your computer melting down. So wait. Before you actually go ahead and press that play button, we need an increment. Now, an increment is going to be something that's going to use to change the value of a variable, right? So I'm going to go here, I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to write loop plus plus. Now, loop plus plus means increase the value of the loop variable by 1 every time you see this, which means this is the order we're going to be looking at things in, right? I'm going to run you guys through this before you hit the play button. It's going to go in the loop. It's going to go in as 0, right? So it's going to print out 0. You pass through the loop 0 times, and then you're going to go down to loop plus plus, and it's going to go ahead and increase that to 1. So that means now loop is actually 1. And you're going to go ahead and repeat yourself in the loop. 1 is still less than 5, so you can pass through it again. And it's going to go through one more time, and it's going to write 1 over here. And you keep doing that until the condition's no longer true. As soon as you get to 5, well, 5 is not less than 5, so you're actually going to get a stop of the loop, and you're going to get to move on to the rest of your program. So let's take a look at exactly what's going to happen here. I'm going to go ahead and press the run button. And we're going to see down here, we have our loop going over and over. It says, oh, you pass through the loop 0 times, you pass through the loop 1 time, you pass through the loop 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. That's actually probably a bad example because, you know, when we're passing through the loop this first time, it's actually the first time we're passing through. We're not passing it through 0 times. So I could technically go ahead and put this loop up here instead. So remember when I said, like when I started off the series, the order matters, right? It really matters what you have top to bottom. So if I were to put loop plus plus here first, that means you are going to pass the loop through as 0 over here, but you're going to increase it by 1 before you print it out. So we're going to see what happens if I were to do this. I press the build and run, and now look what we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I thought you just said that 5 was less than 5. Yeah, it is. But you are entering the loop with the 4. And as soon as you enter the loop, now you increase that 4 to 5. And then you're going to be printing out that 5, which was already increased. And then you'll have to stop going through the loop because you can't go through anymore. So that's exactly how while loops work. You need to have this increment. You need to have it increasing to eventually stop at a certain point, in this case, loop. You can also do greater or equal... less than or equal to, for example, if you want to pass through an extra time. See, now we go all the way to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Think of the way you say it, right? You say less than or equal to. So then you have the less than symbol, and then you have the equal sign. Or if you had greater than or equal to, you'd go ahead and do it like that, greater than or equal to, just so you guys know that. Just some extra knowledge to know. If you have any questions about while loops, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer them as soon as possible. And I hope you guys enjoyed the series so far, and I'll see you guys in the next video.